Welcome to Restaked, brought to you by Swell Labs. Join us as we explore restaking through conversations with the leading experts in this emerging ecosystem.
Welcome, guys, to the first episode of GigaBrain podcast. We are running now with a new format where we are going to talk with the biggest minds of the crypto community, crypto ecosystem of today. And really excited about showing you guys what we have prepared for you in this episode and in the next ones. And we are going to try to bring to your home the best news and the best hot takes in the market that are happening currently. So today we are talking with Bernardo Vicente, actually a great friend of mine that I know for a long time, founder of Tokensight. So Tokensight is a leading research firm specializing in risk analysis for risk-taking protocols. And today we are going to deep dive on Bernardo's history and also on the risk-taking thematic as of today. So to kickstart, welcome Bernardo. And I will ask you the first question, which is, who is Bernardo and what's your background? What's your story? Why did you decide to join crypto and why did you decide to really start Tokensight? Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Joao. Thanks very much for inviting me. So I guess starting from the beginning, so I studied business, economics, and finance in college. So quite focused on early kinds of finance, not crypto from the get-go. And I guess probably the three main motivations for me to start in crypto was I was always been quite a big fan of libertarian theory of markets, so libertarian economics, if you will. And I think so. I was kind of. I also had quite a lot of experience in TradFi, fintech. I did have jobs in those in those industries, and I just felt that that crypto, from reading white papers from Ethereum, Bitcoin, and what have you, was always much more aligned to my worldview than the current view of markets was. And through my first trading experience in the TradFi and fintech, I understood very well day to day how slow everything kind of was. Everything was very cumbersome. Just the nothing was peer-to-peer, so there was a bunch of intermediaries for everything. Everything was slow. The transactions were slow. The pace and something that's quite frustrating for me with more of an entrepreneurial will and a go-to mindset was also the how slow the pace of innovation was in TradFi and even in fintech. So crypto, I kind of started to get more acquainted with crypto in 2017, 2018. And it kind of aligned much more with my worldview and seemed more a less frustrating experience than what I had on TradFi. And even a third point was I've also been quite a big fan of urban economics and city development. And the theories like Georgism was always quite fascinating for me, which led me to contribute to CityDAO, which was maybe one of the early projects on RWA. I became a contributor early 2022, which was quite early, and I was just very interested in how those guys started to tokenize like real world land in Wyoming and fractionalize it into NFTs. And so I was just fascinated from the city perspective, and then I got more acquainted how crypto was in there and how NFTs and on-chain data and all that came into the fold.
And how that story led you to go for Tokensight. So going on that story and all the academic process, what led you then to start Tokensight? What was the vision? What was the motivation?
Yeah. So I started on CityDAO. I started doing a lot of on-chain data, a lot of on-chain simulations, analysis there. And I began just starting to get interested in LSTs and staking, and started to explore verticals there to do stuff I didn't know what, and Tokensight didn't exist. but I was just having quite a few chats with Index Coop, with Pendle, with Libra, with a few of the LSTs at the time. But I didn't quite find a demand for LST risk or simulations or APY simulations or whatever. But then I came to know what restaking was in early mid 2023, and I started talking with one of the early contributors on Eigenlayer, and they told me that AVS risk, reward emissions, all these interesting concepts were needed, and somebody needed to focus on it, and there was almost no information out there. And I kind of understood from the beginning the potential of restaking. It's not only Ponzi reapplication stuff. You can really do a lot. And so that led me to quit my job at the end of 2023, and Nomad in 2024 started Tokensight there, and just started to take this quite seriously. I didn't know anyone else focusing on AVS risk or any kind of risk in risk-taking at the time. And that then I just started, so I went nomading around, and I started publishing some early pieces on AVS risk, on EigenDA, on Lagrange. There was Brevis, there was Omni as well, that interrupt AVS. And that kind of started a lot of that kind of put Tokensight on the map, those early pieces. And
Perfect. And now going then digging deep exactly on the Tokensight part, as I know that you are already starting to go deep on the company. So why Tokensight was needed here in the market for restaking, and why it matters, and in your opinion, if you can share one of the specific pieces of research that you did that really for you was special. I think that will be really interesting for audience to hear how you do your research and how Tokensight really does the analysis, and also why it matters really for the restaking ecosystem in space. And
yeah, so the main motivation in the beginning was the goal of starting this was to just to maximize understanding for all participants on the nature of risk in restaking, and how it could unfold. Because since I believed in restaking, I wanted it to unfold in a good way. I understood I understood the premise and the technology and the potential of it, and so I wanted to understand very well how slashing works, what's AVS risk, risk around restaking protocols, LRTs, how can cascades or correlated slashing happen. And so I started publishing these technical reports, starting to design quantitative models, build apps that could help visualize all these kinds of things. So either visualizations or toggling of different parameters that would output a risk score at the end. And I started to attract some of the big names as well here, of course. Then I got Symbiotic, P2P, Ebizu, some AVSs have started also to ask for risk reports, which is great, of course.
And from all of these companies, that you just mentioned, which of these companies really for you made a difference on your analysis and on your path? I know that from past talks that you created a really good relationship with P2P, for example. If you want maybe dig deep on that example there, and how P2P also helped Tokensight, and how that piece of research paper really made a difference for you as a research analyst.
Yeah, actually, I want to start chronologically. Actually, Ebizu was one of the first and most important, because I came to meet Ethan at his CC, and he was really interested in how I would assess LRT risk from the perspective of the portfolio of AVSs, and was my first paid engagement, so that's memorable, of course. And from there, that pressured me to really understand the LRT risk at the time. This was mid 2020, last year, mid 2024. And from there, P2P was also very big. I spent a couple months with one of the researchers to really output maybe still the flagship piece on AVS risk. We kind of looked a lot of what should I call it, like risk firms focused a lot on AVSs from a financial point of view, like on collateral quality, on how would LRTs be impacted by slashing. But with P2P, I focused a lot on the fundamental tech and infrastructure behind it, like what's the maturity, how would how the quality of slashing conditions prevent a slashing event, how like a DA or interop, if it doesn't have a given component of infra, like on could be like yeah, if an oracle wasn't built properly, if a DA wasn't using all the components it needed to process DA properly, like that could motivate an attacker to understand that weakness and attack it and cause a slashing event, of course. So P2P was a very big deal for me. So I would say those two.
Okay, amazing. And one of the questions here that I have here to ask you, which is a bit more controversial, and that also relates a lot about with your work as an analyst, is why do you think that restaking was so popular in 2024, and how that impacted also your work and your past work, and now is impacting your work also going forward?
Yeah, I think it became quite popular. Mostly people, so it kind of reuses. So restaking you reuses stake DETH. So it became mainstream that the yields from LSTs would compound to LRTs even more, and this would output low 2 digits kind of APYs, and that didn't quite happen. And also one other thing that's correlated was everybody became excited with all the airdrop farming potential from all the AVS that would be deployed on each restaking protocol. So with all these different projects that you could airdrop farm. But it's taking some time to mature. Slashing took some time on eigenlayers. Symbiotic was able to get it off the bat. And since I guess attention spans are impatient, is quite short. Rewards also took some time, and are still taking some time from the AVS point of view. I think only on I think on Eigenlayer only to this day only like 3 or 4 AVSs have rewards. So I think we need to have more AVSs, have more breakthrough use cases like CAP.
In your opinion, the main attention factor was the yields, right? So the yields, the capital gains, pretty much on restaking. Yeah.
I guess so.
Okay, perfect. So I have a couple here, like quick fire, rapid fire questions for you that I would like for you to answer in just a few words, if you can. So first one will be, what's the biggest myth about restaking? If you can answer in a quick way.
Quick way. So I've read from a lot of research firms and risk firms that they just assume all AVSs are equal, all have the same slashing risk profile, and they are just interchangeable pieces on an ecosystem or in a simulation, and that's not true. They have very different profiles, target, stake requirements, all that. That's in a few words.
Okay. Second one. Can you name one restaking protocol or app that you think that will still be here in 2030? This is a controversial one. or several. Several. If you want several, you can say several.
I'll say. I think Symbiotic is doing a good job, and I think CAP has a lot of potential. So restaking protocol and AVS, I think those two.
Okay, perfect. So what's your most controversial take about crypto or DeFi?
That restaking will still be here in 2030, 40, etc.
Okay, that's controversial. That's controversial.
That's controversial today, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Last one. What are people not paying attention but they should be in restaking to the specifically restaking market. So which company, maybe protocol, maybe narrative inside restaking that people are not paying attention, but they should be? What do you think?
Yeah. I think I'm not gonna say any of those. I'm gonna say a participant. So there are still not very many risk curators in restaking, and I think that's a very very important role, particularly to onboard restakers or just retail. And I think that if more risk curators should be onboarded, and I think that subsection of participants is gonna grow a lot. And I think nobody's talking about that.
Perfect. And going now on our final part of here the podcast, which is actually one of my favorite, which is the one where we dig deep on market, future of your company, future of the market, and future of what is your opinion really on what's next. So taking here one of our earlier questions, which was about the peak of restaking in 2024. So now we are in 2024, and there is many talks about that restaking has already peaked, right? So is this, in your opinion, is this real or no? Restaking is just here to stay. So what is your opinion as an analyst? What do you think that is next for restaking in 2025, 2026, etc.?
Yeah, I think so. One of the touching a little bit on before, I think some of the main criticisms were or are that rewards are quite low. It's not exciting. That AVSs and restaking protocols have been slow to ship rewards and slashing conditions, and and that there have been a lack of breakthrough use cases. So most AVSs have been only like validating off-chain data, or just doing on-chain types of validation, like sequencing and interop, data availability, ZK kind of stuff. And so a lack of breakthrough use cases. And I think we just need to keep we just need to try to and push innovators to come up with different use cases and to try to make capital more efficient. With there started to come some interesting perspectives on this. So there's Cap that kind of is bringing this new kind of AVS design model that doesn't need validation from operators in the traditional sense. It needs operators in the sense of high frequency trading desks or market makers that will perform yield strategies for you. And it's quite ingenious actually, because it slashes you in case an operator defaults, and it uses slashing redistribution to compensate restakers in case that happens. So in theory, restakers can have these agents to perform yield strategies for you at no downside theoretically, because you'll be reimbursed if you get slashed. So that's so these kinds of ideas are quite important. And from the point of view of making capital more efficient to improve rewards, AVSs like this are important, but also like use cases like insurance, because I am quite close with Catalysis as well, and they're trying to, and also I think Symbiotic itself is trying to think of ways to insure not only within restaking but also DeFi protocols insure just any normal kind of strategy that anyone does. So that's a new kind of use case that this capital can be used to protect, to ensure restakers. It can be paid through rewards can be earned through better premiums that AVSs or policyholders would pay. So all these kinds of things I think should be paid attention to for restaking to have a better future.
I have 100% agree. I think you already answered my next pretty much two questions. One of them was about the criticisms and how to overcome them, and I pretty much already answered that. And the other one was what we need to do to keep restaking healthy and sustainable for the future, right? And you talked there about something that really particular, that it's a topic that I also really like a lot, which is the insurance part. Maybe can you dig a bit deeper on that, and what is your opinion about the insurance? Because I've been seeing more and more companies taking this route, and I do think that that's definitely the future here. And I don't know if you have maybe some more information or some research that you already did that you can share, but I think that will be really good insight.
Mm-hmm. Not I don't have much detail on this yet, but I'm currently working with Catalysis to produce a technical paper on how the Catalysis model can make for a better insurance protocol. In insurance, it's kind of odd, if crypto has 10 or 15 is 10 or 15 years old, but there's no great insurance solution out there. Aave safety module is kind of good. They use stake and slashing, uh, and I look a little bit into that. I think, but the others like Nexus, Sherlock are not permissionless. That they take too long to, and they're kind of gated. They're governed through a DAO model. So the insurance would take time to be paid out. I think they're not very permissionless. They're slow. It's not, doesn't sound great. And I think I think restaking serving as basis to insurance can be quite good. Catalysis would aggregate stake from all different restaking protocols, and that would introduce competitiveness in terms of buying power and demand for stake, and that would probably make policyholders pay less for premiums. It would make capital efficient for restakers. SSPs would see a bunch of maybe majority of stake on restaking protocols today is idle. Not used for much. There are many AVSs that require crypto economic security today, so I think they would welcome that at a percentage fee of the premiums paid. So that's. Yeah, so I think I touched on everything I know so far, but I'm writing a longer piece on Catalysis,
Perfect.
which I'll publish on Tokensight.
Perfect.
yeah.
And that takes me
And
to...
I think
Yeah.
just one thing I remember. So I think to make restaking healthy and also insurance, I think again role of curators is very important. So
Mhm.
I think risk curators is going to be important for restakers to know how to allocate their stake to be insurable, to which AVS they should insure, depending on the risk. But also maybe curators would also be useful to try to understand, try to help AVS understand or policyholders how much premium they should set based on risk, based on the demand, based on the rewards and all this. So curators very important.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. So, and you also already pretty much touched already on my next question, which is what's next for Tokensight. So you said you are preparing new research. Can you share about some new research that you are doing? How do you foresee the future of the company? And what's next? So how do you see it? And which new papers are you working on that you can maybe share a couple details?
Yeah, actually, so there's a few. Maybe next week I'm going to publish a second blog post on Symbiotic's blog, deep diving on correlated slashing, how contagion might happen. Also, CAP is going to launch on mainnet mid-August next month, and right after I'm going to publish a risk report. So I'm talking with the team to review, and a risk report will be published there. I got the engagement with Swell, so gonna continue researching AVS risk and how to and trying to analyze your allocations right now and how that can be improved to maximize TVL liquidity, all that. And then I also noticed that shifting away from restaking, I noticed that RWA sector is kind of lacking in risk frameworks, risk assessments. So I mean, I've been talking with the RWA.xyz guys to try to try to integrate risk frameworks for different RWAs. So I'm also excited about that. And I guess lastly, I think this is also maybe controversial and nobody's paying attention right now, but I think AI risk agents are also quite important for my use case, because researching AVS is a complex thing, and there are a lot right now, but there'll be even more. And for me to provide proper risk profiling or risk reward profiling for all these partners, I need to, or I hire a lot of people, or I invest a lot on risk agents, or maybe both. But so that there's cool ways that agents can be used on my use case. And then on Catalysis, on the insurance, I'm going to publish a risk report on that. So all these different vectors that I'm focusing on.
Okay. Perfect. No, super excited to hear. We still have a couple minutes left, like about 2-3 minutes left. If you want to share any other extra detail, please feel free. And also, please let know the audience how they can find you, or your website, any of your details, social media. That is always helpful. And of course, we'll leave all the links down below. So please, last words, 1-2 minutes, stage is yours, and we close the episode for today.
So you can keep up with me mostly on Twitter at bvicentes in the end. And then Tokensight is going to keep publishing different risk reports, bullish here on restaking. So if you need hope in restaking, a little boost, you can come to our blog. It's tokensight.xyz, the website, which links to the blog, and at tokensightxyz on X to follow us. Going to be announcing new collabs, doing all these things that I said are next for Tokensight, so you can keep up there. And
and for the agents, I'm curious about that, agents and insurance. Like,
okay.
That's
oh man, yeah.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I think it was really insightful. I think it's really you really put it like the really pain points on restaking and how we can overcome them. I think that's really excited. I think that the audience will be very happy to also know this, and please research Tokensight. Bernardo here is great friend, great researcher. And I hope to see you in very future in some of the next events, and continue the fantastic work. And for us as the GigaBrain podcast, I will see you in the next episode. And thank you very much, and signing out. Thank you guys. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Restaked is brought to you by Swell Labs. To find out more about Swell, go to swellnetwork.io and make sure to search for Restaked wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Make sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for listening.